No, no, no! Oh my word. Hey there, friends. Thought I'd put together a video showing some of the work that I did building my pole shed and the trials and tribulations with that. I haven't recorded all of my stuff on video, but I have taken pictures here and there, so try to do my best to fill in the blanks the best I can, so enjoy. I might as well start here since this is the first picture I have related to this project. I was really testing fate in this picture. This was about 2,500 pounds or 1,135 kilograms loaded into my 94 dually. I'll show you something later that is very concerning. The trip back home was fortunately uneventful. This is simply a photo of my progress on some of the digging I performed with my backhoe to put the sonotubes in the ground for the foundation. This is what the sonotube looks like installed before it's filled with concrete. I like to get these filled within about 24 hours if possible. You don't want them to collapse because then you'd have to dig it out and start over. About halfway through my digging of the 15 holes for the foundation, my backhoe broke. Off to a great start as usual. So I did what any good DIYer would do that knows how to weld. I took the backhoe apart and began the repairs. I had to pull all the hydraulic lines out of the console. That was possibly the worst part of this repair. It would appear that the welds on this unit right at this critical place were not very good, where the sleeve connected to the side plates. The welds broke free. I suspect it had been like this for a while. Well, there's your problem. That ain't no good. It's got a little play in it. I didn't get any progress photos or videos of the repair, unfortunately. I used my little Yes welder. It does MIG and SMA, or arc welding. I used some 7018 rods. I had 1/8 and 3/32. I used a combination of both. I then reinforced the top and the bottom with 2 pieces of 1/4-inch plate. A little brown primer and we're done. This should be better than new. How does that saying go? If you're not a good welder, weld a lot. Well, that certainly applied here. I sent this to my friend not long after completing the repair. It's always something with this blue tractor. Remember the first slide with my truck full of concrete and rebar? Yeah. I realized my U-bolts on the rear axle were about as thick as number 2 pencils due to rust. The original bolt was 9/16 or about 14 millimeters. I'm lucky the rear axle didn't leave the chat. In this picture, I had cut them with a grinder. There was no unbolting these. Doesn't that look better? Getting some gravel delivered to cap this 100% clay environment we have here out in Mariahville. I did this after getting all the sonotubes and concrete in. Back to my old tricks here. I mangled another blade. This happens more when distracted. I can't remember what was distracting me this time. On to cutting the 2 18-foot 6x12 beams for where the sawmill will reside and the lumber storage area. Poor little scissor jack trying its best to hold up this gigantic log. My mill will only cut 16 foot 6 inches long, so I'd position the log as close as I could to the blade and then cut one side, rotate, and repeat. You can see in this picture that I have the last bunk support flipped over on the sawmill. This is to allow the uncut parts of the log to rotate without hitting it. Again, here's that little scissor jack putting in work. Here's a better shot of what I was doing to this log. I'd cut as far as I could and then back the saw head up and use the chainsaw to cut the slab. I need to make 2 more of these in the future, so there will be a video on it. After all 4 sides were cut, I'd used a come-along winch to pull the log back down the track so that I could finish each side. This was a ton of work. Now I'm using the come-along to pull the 2 finished 6x12 beams back to get them clear of the saw head so that I can lift them with the tractor. I'm beginning to stage some of my materials here. You can see the completed concrete piers. Please promise me you won't do this. My tractor won't lift high enough to set the beams on the high side. These are 2 truck running boards. From the dump. I know, I know, it's sketchy. It totally worked though. I set these by myself. 1 down, 4 to go. Starting to look like something now. That is one big piece of wood. Quite a challenge to find a large enough, straight enough tree to get these from. I'm at the reins of yet another sketchy thing. It seems to be the norm for me. At least I'm using taglines. Again, working alone. I decided mid-project to cut another nearby hemlock. Well, I misjudged my face cut and dropped the thing right onto my cement mixer, small trailer, and my family heirloom wheelbarrow. This poor old wheelbarrow used to belong to my dad. My brother and I moved dozens of cords of firewood with this thing. His watch has ended. These are 2 of the 14-foot beams for the smaller section. These were much easier as I could just cut them directly. Looking good. I got some of the first rafters up. Admire it from this side. Go ahead, I'll wait. I picked up a new Hercules full-size cordless circular saw. It uses 7 1/4 inch full-size blades, which are not only better, they're cheaper than the 6.5 inch blades. Harbor Freight does these promotions where if you buy the battery and the charger, or sometimes just a battery, you can pick out a tool for free. This thing ended up working out great. I think I cut 25 or so rafters on one battery. This is a 60-penny nail, 8 inches long or about 20 centimeters. I'm using those nails to connect my angle braces to the front 6x6s. I would like to have done some sort of a fancy joint, but I was racing winter at this point. I sandwiched those angle braces between 2 rafters and nailed the crap out of them. On the low side, I had some steel straps, so I decided to wrap things up a bit just for some reinforcement. This was so good I had to take a picture. Not an ideal placement for a knot, for sure. I think I pre-drilled the nail holes on this one. Here's a bunch of cut rafters staged to be installed. Another end of day walking back to the house, turn around and admiration picture. While I've built lots of things in my day, usually they were never for me. Finally, for the first time in 3 years, my sawmill has a permanent home, off the trailer. The new cordless saw coming in clutch here. Boarding in a roof with boards is a ton of work. I was using a nail gun though. Getting there. Can you imagine back in the day before power tools, how much labor it would take to build anything? Appreciate your power tools. Well, I ran out of boards and had to stop mid-project and cut more to finish the roof deck. Ooh, looking good. And good lighting. Got the roof underlayment on. This will be the roof for the winter. I'm ready to wait until spring to complete this. It is getting cold. Trying on some of these bays for size. I got one beetle in. Soon there'll be a second where the tractor is. Well, there. Got both beetles tucked in for the winter now. By no means is this shed perfect yet. And yes, some snow does get in. A back wall and end walls should make a huge difference with this. Coming soon, hopefully. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe and comment if you like this sort of thing.